Hi, Lucy Greenwood. I'm a partner in the International Family Law Group, and we have now been attending the FIGT conference for around about 4 years. When I first came here, it was like a whole new concept to me, even though I'm working with international families constantly in my work. And it's been a real eye-opener and an insight into their lives and what their needs are in terms of professional assistance, including family law issues. Family law isn't an obvious topic to talk about in general terms, but in fact when you're moving countries, your rights, your legal rights do change. And even if you're in a very strong relationship, there are certain aspects where you might want to have discussions about what you want for the future, particularly if that location doesn't quite go to plan, or if you want to have some independence when you're there, rather than being a complete dependent on often one spouse. And so as a result of what I've learnt from FIGT, we've prepared a number of items of literature which we're happy to share with people that want to hear about it, with some guidances and tips as to what to do before you move away, when you are together, and more recently I have also provided some details of what to do if your relationship is failing in any way, and how you can help yourself to best structure the way forward.
My name is David Hodson. I'm an English solicitor. I'm an Australian solicitor. I spent several years working in Australia. I'm a mediator, arbitrator, and I work in central London. My practice is the International Family Law Group. We were the first law firm set up anywhere in the world just to look after international families. That is why FIGT is so important for us. We only act on behalf of international families, and that is people with any connection with more than one country. We're based in England, but we have a network of lawyers throughout the world. And so people would come to us, and if they've not got an English connection, we would always refer them on to somebody else. Why is this organisation important? It's because we are looking after this very sort of people. People who move around the world, people who've got assets in different countries, maybe born in one country, married in another country, lived in another country, maybe now in another country. Maybe they've separated, they've got nationalities in different countries, maybe they've left a property or a bank account or pension in another country, and they need to have that resolved. And then what happens to the children? We're very focused on the best interests of the children, and maybe one person wants to move abroad with one of the children and the other parent doesn't want to do so. So these are the sort of issues that we would be looking at. Why do we come to the conferences? To listen, to share, to understand, to tell stories, to listen to stories being told, to join as part of this community. I worked abroad for several years. Many of us in the practice are from different nationalities, different faith backgrounds. In the work of families, faith backgrounds is such an important issue. What would I say most of all to this particular community? A family is a legal entity. Sorry to be boring. Yes, you marry somebody, you love them, etc., or you just sit home if you don't bother to marry them. But that's a legal entity. It's got legal rights, duties and obligations. That's the easy bit. When one starts moving around the world, maybe marrying somebody from a different country, it becomes complicated. It is certainly not simple under any circumstances. And that's why, sad to say, one does need getting professionals involved. Professionals before one moves to another country to make sure I'm moving to another country, it's quite a different country, different culture, different regime. Should I look after some interest of mine, maybe for his family before we go? Or I'm then in that culture. What happens? Laws around the world are not the same. Cultures, expectations. Biggest issue of all, gender treatment around the world is not the same. And so we want to look after that. And sometimes it may be better, if there is a family difficulty, to have the proceedings or have the settlement in one country, even if that's not the country in which one's actually living. So this is where we learn from this community, where we're so pleased to be a sponsor of FIGT. We have now been for 4 years, we've attended for 4 years. We are so happy to be involved. We want to support this community, we feel part of this community. And as the years go by, this is a community that's going to have huge international significance. Governments, international governments, are not aware of how many globally mobile families there are with children, with wider family connections, and sooner or later they're going to have to take notice. So it's a wonderful organisation, we're keen to support it, and we've been delighted to be here in Bangkok.